I want to thank everyone for coming out today. It's a special occasion. It's our second anniversary of 1 Million Cups. Just started with a few of us. Elizabeth here was part of the original group back then. So Steve Goad, where's Steve? Steve was part of the group. And certainly we've got Karen, Brittany, David, and also our number one man on the video over there, Murat. We appreciate it. What we did last year for the first anniversary is we had a panel. We brought back some presenters from the year before, and it really went over well. As a matter of fact, we really need to do it more often because it's a great interactive exercise. One, they kind of start out telling about where their company is now, kind of an update of where they were when they came here, where they are now, maybe some things that helped them grow that came out of their initial presentation with us. So we'll find that out today. And then we have a series of questions, some of them from our organizers, some of them from you guys. We gave the last few weeks a chance to write down some of your own questions. And at the end, we'll take some time if you just have some questions that come to mind today. At the end, we'll leave a few minutes for that. Any announcements today?
Jerry, you want to have the dates?
Center for Enterprise Innovation over at ODU. We're going to be kicking off a pitch competition, bi-monthly pitch competition. We'll call it 757 Pitch. And what it'll be is we'll have 5 teams or individuals get 7 minutes to present a pitch, $700 prize. And you'll find information on that on the website fairly soon, not quite up yet. The second one, prior to that, sort of a dry run, is the SBA has a program called Innovate Her, which again is a business plan competition. And what they're looking for is businesses that'll help out women and families. So something that'll improve the lives and can be grown into a commercial business. That is going to occur on the 2nd of June. And there's going to be an online application process where you put up sort of a short paragraph describing, the concept. And then we'll down select to, I think it's 5 concepts who will get to pitch in an open competition, which will be on the 2nd of June. We'll attach a prize to that, but then you go on to a national level competition where I think it's like a $40,000 prize.
Well, total, they're going to get, on the national level, is a total prize about like $70,000 is given out among all the teams. So, yeah, it's a nice chunk.
So we'll keep you posted.
Great. Only a small thing, it's more entertainment. Taste of India at Ted Constant Center on this Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Up to 10,000 people show up to this event. They got college teams competing, food, all sorts of things, but it's also a wonderful opportunity to meet quite a few people in one event. Again, it's free parking, free admission.
The April 19th, which is tomorrow, right? Today. Okay. Today. All right, well, time flies when you have a good time. For those that have some time after this, you may want to catch the end of a procurement technical assistance program, kind of how to do proposals and the like that the city's putting on over at Central Library, Virginia Beach, there on Virginia Beach Boulevard. That runs till noon, so if that interests you, I'm sure they would love you to stop by, even if it's a little late, no problem there. Any other announcements? How many folks are here the first time today? Welcome. Good. Well, so glad to see everyone back. At this point, I'd like to turn the program over to my colleague, Karen Eagle, and she's going to get the panel started.
All right. So, welcome to our panel. We have Mike Vernon, who does flood mitigation, and Jeff Werby and Lisa Denoise. Denoy. Oh, the silent S. Sorry.
Denoya. It's a name.
Denoya.
It's a non-silent.
Very, very, very vocal. Yes, from 1701, Working Space, and Bo Stevenson with Woodfellas. So I'm going to ask some questions that were submitted by people, and they're in a random order. They're not in any kind of specific order. But the first question is, how's your business changed since you presented at 1MC? And was anything because of 1MC? Maybe that's two questions. What's happened since you presented?
Who's going
You
first?
can go, whoever wants to take it first, Mike.
My name is Mike Vernon. I own Flood Insurance Hampton Roads. I incorporated the company last June 2nd. I've been in the flood mitigation world for 5 years now. This is my third iteration. It's a brand new industry, and there's no books or companies that I can find and emulate or copy in any way. So I really had to invent it as I went. Many consider me a pioneer in the industry. I have no competition. There's nobody doing what I do. My company is a full-service insurance agency, but our mitigation consulting is where we're unique, and that is our unique competitive differential. Starting the company, I had basically been doing what I had been doing for 4 years prior to. The difference was I obtained my insurance license, which allowed me to monetize my efforts in a different way and add other profit centers to my business. So I was already branded and well connected within the real estate industry at the time. So the main changes for me as an experienced business owner was creating the internal infrastructure to support my marketing efforts and the ability to do my job, because there's a lot of moving parts in a mitigation consult, and I was busy from day one. So it was putting together those infrastructures and ability to track and monitor and study pricing and profitabilities and add other profit centers as I moved forward, which I'm still doing. So those are the main changes that I've had. But I told someone earlier, February was the best month I ever had. March was better than February, and I've already topped March this far in April. So it's been going very, very well.
Jeff Werby, so 1701. If you haven't been by, please come. We did host a 1 million cups there after we presented here, so that was good. We got some people to come out and see it. What have we done since then? I mean, we've just been growing. So similar to him, we're growing month over month. We're increasing revenue and profitability. We're starting to find that we're moving out of some of the things that previously we were doing for revenue just because we had the space. So previously we would have a lot of events that weren't really co-working related, just to use the space, and we're starting to do a mix shift out of those and doing less of those and more co-working related events. We're also starting to do more events around and surrounding entrepreneurship. We're working with people who are getting ready to launch seminars and symposiums and boot camps and things like that to help entrepreneurs get started. We've been starting to work a lot more with nonprofits in the area who have a focus or an interest in entrepreneurship. And we're doing a number of other things, a lot more now than we were before. So we do have our coffee roasting business, and that's growing extremely well to the point where people are coming by the building looking to get coffee, and so that's been pretty fun.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Bo Stevenson from Woodfellas. When I made a presentation to 1 Million Cups, the stage of the business was very unorganized. I'm not a businessman. I just took a hobby and kind of roll with it. From the presentation, I was able to meet my business partner and was able to secure funding, and it really started to get a plan of action going on. Currently, right now, we are expanding at a very rapid speed. The problems that we have are good problems. We have people really wanting to give us money, which is a good problem to have, but unfortunately, we're not able right now to handle the business that we have, so we're actually looking for a second location. When I first made the presentation, the way the business was going is completely different now. business partner, James, he's actually been able to help me kind of focus on the things that are profitable. And really, he's breaking everything down in facts and figures, so we're able to kind of see projections, see profits, see losses, and we're going at a different pace, and we're starting to lean towards the more home improvement contracting. We do a lot of salvage wood type home improvements. We've built in cabinets and barn doors, custom furniture. We were able to pretty much remodel our whole shop and get all new tools, all new equipment, which is great because when I first started this, I was working with pawn shop quality tools and stuff that was broken, and so I'm really thankful for what 1 Million Cups has given to me. This is a great program. Before I was just kind of doing things on my own. Now I've got a team of people that coach me and help me, and it's really nice to be able to be part of something with other people that are kind of like me. A lot of great information, a lot of good guidance and support.
Awesome. How's your business changed from your initial vision of it? I think that you kind of answered that it's sort of, that's why I thought I would skip over to this question. And Mike, I don't know, has your business, has it changed from where you started?
Well, it's in the process of me changing it by choice. My business has two dramatic weaknesses. One is I'm dependent on the government code, and that can be changed at any given time. So if the government gets up tomorrow, if Congress gets up tomorrow and decides that they're going to eliminate the National Flood Insurance Program, my whole business is, going to be starting all over. Also, I'm totally dependent on the real estate transaction market. So 90% of my business is when a house is being either bought or sold, and it's having difficulties because of the flood insurance premiums destroying the deal. So I need to diversify more into the market of people who have flood insurance issues that are not trying to buy or sell a home, and penetrate that market. And I also am in the process of creating a product line, storm and flood related products that we will broker, such as gas generators, flood vents, windows that can survive 150-mile-an-hour wind, shingles that can survive 200-mile-an-hour winds. As this whole climate change industry evolves and the coastal resiliency industry revolves, more and more people are going to be looking to stay where they are, but feel safer doing so, especially the more affluent who can afford to do those kinds of things. So we're looking into, I met with the recently retired commander of the Army Corps of Engineers. He's coming on board as a resource for me when it comes to moving or lifting houses. So we're looking to diversify so that if the government does change, or the housing market, like it was this past fall, it was extremely slow, it doesn't impact my business as much.
How about you guys?
I think for us, our vision in the beginning, we thought we were going to have a lot of veteran-focused programs for veteran startups and veteran entrepreneurship, and I think we thought we would have this vibrant community of people working out of there, and so it's been really interesting over the last year to see which things we've been able to execute on very efficiently and very quickly, and which things have taken a longer time. So I think we thought we were going to have a lot of members who were veterans right off the bat, and we didn't, but now they are starting to come, and so it's been good to sort of have this loose vision the entire time and be able to work towards that, but also be able to adapt to the members that we did get in the beginning and the things that we were able to do. So now we do have I'd say probably about 20% of our members are veterans at this point, and we are looking for more, and we are kind of getting back on that track where we want to bring those programs in. But it's also been really cool to watch those people interact with other people who may not be veterans. There's a lot of people who are at different stages of their business, and some people have a business, some people are remote workers for a bigger company, and so to be able to watch them interact and collaborate together and start new things together has been really, rewarding. So in that sense, I think we're right on target with what our vision was. But in some ways, you know, we kind of had to veer off course a little bit here and there just to make sure that we were able to meet revenue goals and things like that too.
What about the coffee? Has that become more of a business that you weren't really planning, or was that part of the plan?
I mean, it was part of the plan, but it wasn't, I don't think that we planned for it to grow as fast as it has been growing, and I don't think that we expected that people would be coming and knocking on the door asking where the coffee is, even though we don't have a coffee shop. And so, you know, as a result of that, you know, we are working on opening up a coffee shop as well, because, you know, it's customer demand, right?
Yeah.
You know, we didn't plan on it, but that was what people want. So, yeah, I mean, it's been growing much more than we thought it was, to the point where, you know, we're buying more equipment, and you know, we're going to get to the point where we need to hire people to help us with that. So
That's great. So, so we'll move to the next question, maybe for Bo. What is your why?
What is my why?
Why?
That is
That
very-
gets you out of bed every day.
That's a
Why?
good question. I, to be honest with you, when I first started doing this, people laughed at me. They ridiculed me. Because I was going out, and I'm not afraid to admit this. I was actually going out and dumpster diving, and finding stuff to fix and repair. And, you know, people just laughed at me. They didn't think that this was a business. I knew it was a business, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna show you guys, and I'm gonna make a business out of this. And I think it was probably because I was at a low time in my life. That's what it was. That's what drove me to do this. Because I really didn't have anything else to do, you know, and I just told myself that it has to work. I have people that rely on me, my family rely on me, depend on me, and I have to make this work. So I'm very, very blessed to get up every day to do something that I love doing. I couldn't be happier with the way it's going now. And so that's my why. That's why I get up every day to do it. I don't look at it as a job. It's a hobby. It's fun, and I'm able to make money with it.
I had a quick question. When you first presented,
Yes.
you talked, speaking of dumpster diving, you were talking about figuring out your raw materials sources.
Yes.
And that was gonna be the biggest, maybe one of the biggest choke points for you.
Yes.
Have you figured that out or locked that in, or?
Yeah, the thing that helped us out is with the funding, because now we actually found a couple suppliers that are helping us get our material. We were just getting the materials ourselves and doing small jobs. Now we have kind of like an ongoing supplier that brings us material. We just buy it directly from them. But we still try to stick to our guns with the, you know, recycled material. We do a lot of like repurposing and salvaging and stuff like that. But for the stuff that we're going to be doing a lot of, we have outsourced and found a supply. And actually, they came to us, so which was kind of cool. We didn't really go out and find them. They came to us and said, hey, this is what we have, and you know, this is what we can do for you. So.
So who wants to take on the next why?
I will. My why is, I think this is the most important thing that I've ever done. There are, in coastal Virginia, there are 100,000 houses that are required by law to have flood insurance, more than any other region in the United States. The average premium is almost $1,000 a year now, more than any other region in the United States. The National Association of Realtors did a very advanced study with a nonprofit out of New York called RAND. The results of the study showed that for every $500 of flood insurance premiums, it reduces the value of a home by $10,000. So when you run across these people who are in $250,000 homes with a $3,000 a year flood insurance policy, and because of that, they can't sell the house, they're upside down on their mortgage. I deal with the 3 Fs. I've called it the 3 Fs, which is, the first one is frustration, because there's not a competitive marketplace for them to resolve the pricing issue or the service issue. The second one is fear, because the flood insurance increases are outpacing their cost of living. And a lot of people in that low income environment or lower income environment are buying right up to their most advanced, what's called debt to income ratios. And so they're getting into the houses, financing every penny they can, and within 3 years, the flood insurance is outpacing their income. And then the next step is foreclosure. And we're seeing it all the time, just that frustration, that fear, that people are just walking the keys to the bank and saying, you can have it. And then on the high end, it's more of an aggravation or an insult. People in the $1 million homes or above, they have a pain point or a point in which they're aggravated enough to do something about it. Obviously, it's not affecting their ability to keep their house. But if you start thinking about, if a house is appraised at $300,000 by the city, but they can't sell it for $150, when is it going to start having a consequence on our tax base? When is it going to start having a consequence on our school systems and our emergency services? When's it going to have an impact on the economy overall? We have more flood events now, 3 times more flood events in a given year now than we had 20 years ago. How much does a flood event cost us when salespeople can't get to their appointments, deliveries can't be made, businesses can't be open, kids can't get to school? We are in the middle of a battle that we're 50 years behind. And I'm just doing a small piece of it. We're not talking about multi-billion-dollar flood walls and floodgates and all the things that the cities are going to have to come together with federal money and get done. But it's not going to be long from now, and it's already happening. Homes are being raised by FEMA, R-A-I-S-E-D, and they're being raised by FEMA, R-A-Z-E-D, if they are in a severe repetitive loss category. FEMA just comes down, pays off the mortgage, kicks out the owner, and demolishes the house so that they don't have to continue to pay claims over and over again. And these older homes that were built a long time ago, they're so far out of compliance and so far out of what would be a good building decision today that it is literally costing people their homes. And it's costing a certain quality of life. And it's just become extremely it's important to me.
So I'll follow up. He had 3 letters. I have 2 sets of 3 letters. So for us, why did we do co-working? I mean, we needed a place to go. We were meeting with customers. We were meeting with clients. We also do business and IT consulting. We were meeting with people at the Sliver Library and the Joint Use Library, and coffee shops, things like that. And we're like, there needs to be something else. We've done a lot of traveling, and co-working outside of this area exists. People around here, they don't even know what it is. And so we got the 3 C's for us, which is coffee, collaboration, and computing. And we needed a place for that, and it just happens we do it. And the other thing is 3 E's, entrepreneurship, education, and employment. And we're looking to help people. So like we did it, we have experience and we have knowledge, and a lot of people don't understand. They go and they spend a lot of time building out business plans, and we say, hey, just come here and let's get it going. And so we employ the lean startup methodology. I've had a lot of training in that, and we use it ourselves, and so every day we're adapting our business based on that program, and we wanted to have a place that frankly allowed other people to come and do it, and we didn't know that there wasn't one. And so we made one based on our experience, and then made it a place where other people can come, and it's accessible, it's easy for people to come to, and so that's why we get up and do what we do every day, and why we made 1701, and why it's successful.
I just like being busy.
So, what other resources in Hampton Roads besides 1MC have been most helpful for you to build your business? What are some good resources that you would tell everyone about that we should look into? Have you found some?
I think that the local media has been really helpful for us. So we've been really lucky that a lot of people have been interested in the things that we've been doing, and so they were really proactive at reaching out. So we were able to, we were on the Hampton Roads Business Weekly show with Cheryl Tan, and we got a lot of interest in the space after that. And then we also invited her back to our space to do their next set of interviews. So I think the next couple that'll air in May, they were filmed in our space, and that was really interesting. When we put on a big event for Small Business Saturday, someone from Wavy came and interviewed us and did a lot of filming around the space that day. And again, like, we had a lot of interest. A lot of people thought they were going to come there to go shopping, and we were like, oh, we only had shopping that one day, but we were like, if you know anybody that that works from home, send them our way. So we were able to generate some business from that as well. And then just some of the writers from the pilot and stuff, they've come and covered different things that we've done. And we've also given them information about the companies and the businesses that we have in our space. So it's a resource that we've been able to offer to our members as well, is that, if one of them is putting on an event or they have something going on, like, oh, you should really talk to Lee, like, she would probably be interested in covering that. So one of our members, Troopster, like, she had a packing party and somebody from the pilot came out and covered it, and it was really cool. It's cool.
Obviously, the real estate associations have been very important to me. Old Dominion University, the economy department, the insurance department, the entrepreneurial center have all been helpful at different times. Like she said, the media, everybody wants to talk to me because almost everybody else I talk to is thinking at 50,000 feet, and I'm dealing with the boots on the ground issues. We're featured in the New York Times Magazine this month. We've been in Voice of America, International Public Radio, Bloomberg View, Washington Post, New York Times, all asking pretty much the same questions, what's going on. And by the way, if I didn't make it clear, FEMA wants future storms to cost less. So whenever the government wants an individual to do something good for the whole, there's the financial carrot and the stick. The stick is raising premiums. If you own a commercial property in a required flood zone, your premium is going to be going up 25% per year for the foreseeable future, no end in sight. You own a second home, a vacation home, a rental property in a required flood zone with a mortgage on it, it's going to be going up 25% per year for the foreseeable future, no end in sight. And it goes on and on. And so if you mitigate, which means make the house more flood compliant, we can lower your premiums by 80–90%. And I teach real estate agents all the time. I've presented to over 4,000 real estate agents that the cost of mitigation 90% of the time is less than the first price drop. So if you drop the price of my house by $5 grand and a flood vent job would have cost $2,500, I'm going to be upset with you if I was your client. So the bottom line is we have become very creative in coming up with solutions that are compliant with FEMA code, that lowers the premiums and brings the house back to market value and allows it to sell in a normal time frame at normal market value. The house in Largemont, $300,000 house with a $6,000 premium, she had it on the market for 180 grand and couldn't sell it because it opens up Pandora's box of, do you have crawl space damage? How many times has it been flooded? How high are the premiums going to go? Am I safe? Are my belongings safe? Why shouldn't I spend the same money and go buy more house? And those are all legitimate objections. So by putting a house on the market with a competitive flood price, and that's already mitigated, it goes to becoming one of the most competitive in that particular community because of those two issues. So the bottom line is that all of these entities, flood vent manufacturers, construction, labor force, all of those moving pieces are very important to my business, and I couldn't do it without them. I am the only employee of my company, and hopefully I'll be able to keep it that way. But the bottom line is that it's a very unique business that does a lot of good for our community, I think, and all those supporting resources have been invaluable.
We just joined the folks over at Hatch. They have a good program that help a lot of entrepreneurs and startups, a lot of good business coaching. We also network with Hampton Roads Disconnect, which is a great resource. A lot of people are members of that. You can go and they have monthly meetups. They meet up at different locations, all from the members. And you can just go and network with some really awesome people, pass out business cards and stuff like that. I don't really know much about SCORE, but I did meet with the people at SCORE, and they were able to give me just a little bit of insight. But If you're looking for resources for that, I would say BizConnect, Hatch, and Score would probably be the top three that I know of. But I am new to the business world, so I'm constantly looking for ways to get my name up there. So.
Kieran, real quick, I forgot to finish the story. The house with the $6,000 flood insurance policy, we did a $5,000 project. Flood insurance went down to $800. She put it on the market for $120,000 more than the $180 and sold it. So she spent $5,000 to make $120,000.
But paid it back in 1 year's savings on premium.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
That's why I'm saying it's not rocket science, it's a vast amount of data between FEMA code and insurance codes and building codes and putting them all together like a piece of puzzle. But once you do it, it's very rewarding.
So I want us to have chance for people to ask you guys questions. So my last question is kind of like two parts. You could answer which part you like. But what's been your most difficult challenge? And then maybe not necessarily related, but what have been your lessons learned, or anything that is your aha moment, bright light in your head?
For me, it's technology. In my effort, I've had a lot of employees in the past, and they're like children, and I don't want any more. But eventually, I may have to go in that direction. But the bottom line is that for me, it's getting better and better at software so that I can maximize my ability to respond without adding people. And so whether it's Expensify, QuickBooks, the cloud, Google Drive, OneNote, combining all those things and putting them together to be effective and efficient and not letting people slip through the crack, that's been my big challenge and what I've accomplished the most.
Yeah, I would say that's been one of our lessons learned too. I mean, the thing that I think did really well in the beginning when we had a lot of time, we are technology people, we do technology consulting, and so we made sure that we had everything set up for that building so that, so right now we're not there, we don't have any employees, our members are in there, they're fine. We were able to put the technology into place that we needed so that we would be able to go this long without hiring someone. Now I think it's to the point where people are coming to the door, they want to know if we have coffee, they're they're ringing the doorbell, and we do need to hire someone. So we do have a job posting out right now. We have been interviewing people this week, but yeah, I think like taking the time to put together some processes and some technology in the beginning is really, really helpful after you do start to get busy and you have 15 clients, and then you're like, wait, how do I do an invoice? I don't know. We took the time to practice doing that before we really needed to be able to do it. One of our biggest challenges, I think right now we're just starting to have some challenges with, now we're up to 55 members, and in the beginning, like, we were able to be really flexible, and anytime anybody asked for anything, we could just be like, yeah, sure, like, we'll get that, we'll get this, we'll move this around, we'll whatever. Now the building is full of furniture, pretty much all the spaces are built out, and we have 55 members, and a lot of them are there. Every day there's between 8 and 15 people there. So now when someone asks for something, it's a little bit trickier because we have to consider how that's going to impact 54 other people, and we can't, now we can't make every single person happy because we don't want to displace anyone else or make anyone feel like we didn't consider their thoughts just because they didn't think to ask for something. So we're trying to figure out how to, maybe start having a member town hall or something like that so we can solicit feedback from our members, because it's not just like the same 4 people that are in the building every day now, it's all different kinds of people. So it's a good challenge to have, but we're just trying to navigate that this week.
The growing pains.
Yeah.
I would say for us was getting everything legal, all the legalities with taxes and contracts and insurance. That took a lot of time to get going. On the weekends we have workshops where we invite the public in and we teach them a little bit about power tools, and we show them how to make something and pray to God that no one loses a finger. So get insurance to cover that, workman's comp for our employees, and liability insurance in case something happens at a customer's home is one bad incident that could ruin a company who doesn't have insurance. advice is make sure that you have everything legal. You know, get a lawyer, get a CPA, and make sure that you're paying your taxes, and you know, that's a big thing. And thankfully, James, my business partner, that's easy for him to do. That's what he does, you know. So he's got all that taken care of, and I can focus more on the stuff that I like.
He made me think of something. Insurance has been, for us, from day one, a challenge. We can't find a single, in Hampton Roads, a single insurance provider that is willing to work with us. So either they won't respond to us, or they can't give us a quote, or they can't write us a policy. No, it's amazing. It's amazing that people don't understand, or they say you're too close to the ocean front, or your building is too, whatever it is. And I'm serious. I don't know if you do general liability.
We just got a letter from our current insurance provider that they are not renewing our policy, so now we're having to do it again.
So this is what I say. So now I have an audience here of witnesses. What I tell every single insurance person we talk to, I said, I know what's going to happen here. You're going to come and you're going to tell me that you can do insurance, and then 3 weeks later I'm going to call you and go, what about that? And you go, yeah, we decided it's too much work, or we can't do it. So that's the challenge now.
There we go. I've been presented.
Any questions?
We didn't plan that, by the way.
I knew I came here for a reason.
Questions from folks?
There's one.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to ask the folks at 1701, you have a really nice space down there that's kind of off the main drag. I guess obviously with the number, if you've got 55 people, this question's probably moot. But when you were starting out, did you find that being out of the town center and all this stuff was an advantage or a disadvantage?
We thought it was an advantage right from the beginning. I mean, so when we started talking about opening a co-working space, a lot of people told us, like, don't put it at the beach, don't put it at the beach, no one's gonna come to it. You know, do a lot of people come to it from Norfolk? No. There's a lot of places that people can go in Norfolk that are not our co-working space, but there's plenty of people that live in that area, and we're in the Vibe District, which is kind of like an up-and-coming, you know, creative district in Virginia Beach, and we have a parking lot that has 22 spaces, so we also have a place to park at the beach. So it's, you know, it's been fine. I think you know, in the beginning we had a couple people who said, oh, I can't join because it's too far away, I'm never gonna make it out there. There's people who keep coming out there to have meetings anyway, even though they haven't joined, so it's, you know, it's been fine, and we really wanted to be close to the beach. We think the beach is a cool amenity to have. And so, yeah, it's been really good. We have a couple of dedicated desk members that live, you know, fairly close. They can ride their bikes and stuff too.
Just a quick follow-up to that. Because you have kind of reached your capacity with the 55 bodies. Are you planning on taking it to the next level? Like, you have a lot of people working out of space, offering some kind of a collective health insurance or credit union or something that would expand the service that you provide for these people?
We had thought about that earlier on. We definitely are not at capacity. I mean, even though we have 55 members, the majority of our members are still community members, and so they come in just once or a couple of times a month. So we think that we can get to at least 100 before we would be at capacity in that building. There's still a lot of tables that don't have a person sitting at them during the day. But yeah, we have, you know, in the beginning we thought about some additional things we could offer, and then we kind of put it on the back burner just because right now.
Other than just coffee?
Yeah, I mean, so there are other amenities and perks that we're working on. I mean, we do have a phenomenal business and transactional lawyer who works out of the space on Wednesdays and provides free legal advice to our members, and so that's a great amenity. Definitely not at capacity, and so to some extent we're doing things a little bit like BizConnect and Hatch. We have people who come and they're part of really a virtual network, so there's business networking that takes place, and I think that a lot of people find value in being able to network and, you know, talk to people on Slack or, you know, one of our private member groups. But you know, those things, we've talked to other co-working spaces around the country that are starting to look at, like, hey, for these freelancers and these kind of loose collections of people, can you put in place insurance, a group insurance plan. Again, if we had a great insurance person who could help us put something like that together, because I think that there's a lot of startups where there are people that are going like, I just started, I don't have my group insurance from the company I just left, I don't know, and so I think that that's definitely something that we should, figure out, but right now we don't have experience or knowledge of how to do it, so that's.
Well, it's a really nice space, and congratulations, y'all are doing a knockout job down there.
Thank you.
How do you finance your businesses? Do you sell equity? Do you get bank loans? Do you mortgage your house? I mean, how do you finance your cash flow?
For me, it's out of cash flow. My wife and I purposely moved into a house that we could afford off of her paycheck alone. Fortunately, she does pretty well. I got what was smart for me about taking my mitigation experience and combining it with insurance is a 1,000-year-old known entity without a lot of risk, especially with all the connections I had and the fact that I was already branded. So I took something that was high risk, extremely fluid, many factors beyond my control, and combined it with something that had a rock solid foundation. And that has been the blessing for me that changed everything from what I'd done prior to that. So now, I have numerous, I charge processing fees for the certs, I make commissions, I farm out home, auto, and other leads like this one to several different agencies that I have financial relationships with. I don't build that book of business. I build my own book of flood business. I make flood mitigation consulting fees. I make commissions from the construction companies that I recommend to do the projects. I make money off the flood vents we use to install. So I've been able to put together a lot of different profit centers that give me consistent cash flow. And I get paid twice a month by my insurance partners on leads that I sent them that particular month, which gives me a foundation of every month. So I'm strictly out of cash flow, self-funded.
Yeah, same thing with us. I mean, we seeded the business initially, but I mean, we don't have really any assets. So, we leased the building, so we had to pay, some upfront lease payments. But out of cash flow, we would buy, or, furniture. I mean, we do have assets, furniture, but I don't really consider it to be, value. And, so as we've been growing our customer base and our members, we've been buying more. Same thing with the coffee. Once we hit a certain threshold of the amount that we sold in a month, we'd roll that back into, buying another roaster. We'd roll that back into buying more green beans. So we've never gone to the bank to get a loan. We, haven't taken friends and family money. And unless we were going to actually do like a construction project and buy a piece of land and build out a space to spec for us, I don't know that we would, at this point, need to. For us to have growth, we don't need cash at this point.
Yeah, for us was, the investment that we just received to get better equipment, but starting out, it was just working off the little profit that we had. Being very thrifty when it came to buying equipment, tools, and supplies. Check Craigslist and Facebook for inexpensive items. Every tool that we got was a different way to make money. So they just building up slowly and working off the profits that you receive is how we did it. But with the investment that we just got, that was a real big blessing because we were able to get all of our tools upgraded. And now we have a warehouse with just about every woodworking tool in it. And we're just trying to figure out where to go with what products to make. So production is definitely improved a lot.
So what can I ask again? We've had this question before, but at this point again, what can 1 million cups do for you? For each of you, we're still here for you.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that it's been fun and rewarding to have presented 1 million cups. And as you know, I used to come on a very frequent basis until I lost time to. But congratulations on your 2nd year anniversary for all of you who made it happen. For me, I feel like my best way is I can contribute to 1 million cups at this point, more than what 1 million cups can, other than the people that I know that I can call on and ask questions and things of that nature. But I think I'm at a point in my business life that I need to come here and give back.
Awesome. Awesome. What can we do for you?
I mean, just keep sending us people who need a place to work. And I mean, kind of, same as you were saying, I think we haven't been able to come that much the last couple of months because we've been so super busy, but hopefully after we hire someone, we can start having some representation here again, whether it's one of us or one of our new employees when we get them. And yeah, we just, we want to provide value to other entrepreneurs and other businesses, whether it's here or in our building or at any of the other events that are around town, so.
Great.
Yeah, this has been a great program for us. And maybe sometime soon we can arrange for another presentation for our new business that we're trying to start. Maybe we can get some feedback from that, but it's a great program, a lot of support, a lot of guidance, and I do thank you for everything you guys have done for me.
Well, we're here for entrepreneurs, so I hope we have some people in our audience who might be thinking about presenting their business in the upcoming weeks or months, and we definitely like to support one another, so. And thanks to Ray White. Can we give him a round of applause? Right there.
Thanks. I know some of you have a cup. Who hasn't received a cup before?
I don't have one.
You don't have one?
No, I do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd also like to thank Stratford University. These guys here are just fantastic. I mean, the coffee's always there. This room is just a fantastic room to have this event. I can't say enough about them. If you ever run into any of their teachers or administrators, please thank them yourself. Tell them how much we appreciate them for doing this. And I'd also like to thank Virginia Beach Economic Development. They gave me the latitude to go out and research and find a great program like this to help launch and to support. They provided the donuts today, so please take some before you leave. And again, to our whole community, this is a community, something that we want to continue to grow. And want to thank so much our panel today for taking time out, for coming back. And what I'd like to do when we end real quick is to get a picture with our panel and all the present and past organizers. If you just come up real quick so we can get a photo. Certainly like to send Kaufman Foundation is the one that has us nationwide. There's over 100 and some chapters, so the goal is to just keep growing entrepreneurship, not only in our community, but the region, the state, and the country. Thanks so much, and see you soon.